And let's start today on our backs. Getting comfortable there. So that means today legs can take any shape. I like TP, feet wide, knees knocked together. Your legs may be long or butterfly, feet together, knees wide. And noticing once you lay down on the floor, if your chin tends to jut up toward the ceiling and the throat is pretty open, if that's you, you might like to place a blanket or pillow under your head so that the chin stays very neutral. And allowing arms to rest. And once you're here on your backs, noticing your breath, especially how the breath engages with the back ribs. So you may start to feel that as you inhale, the back of your ribs gently expands down into your mat. And as you exhale, perhaps there's just a softening in your body. And as you notice this pattern of breath in the rib cage, can you also notice emotions, thoughts, experiences of sensation anywhere in your body or mind? So noticing the back of your rib cage as you lie on the floor. That relationship with breath. And then noticing the front of your rib cage and its relationship to your breath. Many of us would experience that as an expansion of the bottom ribs on the inhale. And almost a soft contraction on the exhale. Let's take 3 more deep breaths in this way. And on your next inhale, reach your arms overhead and find the great stretch. Expanding the breath to your full capacity. Pause on full and through your mouth. Pause in your great stretch. And inhale, point your toes, reach your fingers. Hold the breath in. Expand through the ribs, pause, and exhale, sigh it out. One more time. Holding on full capacity, and sigh it out. This time, draw both knees in, maybe one at a time. And with both knees in, rock side to side. We'll keep the right knee, hug it in close. You can set your left foot down on the earth or draw it long, straight leg. Good, let's create just one circle with our knee, or circle with one knee. So sending that right knee out to the side and then back to center. You could use your hand, maybe the right hand, to guide this movement, or rooting down through your left heel. It's moderate engagement in the core. See if you can do it without the use of your hands. And then adding on, maybe that circle gets a little bit bigger, spiraling out. And 2 more breaths. Bring your knee back to center and interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Good. We'll start to straighten and bend the right leg. So straightening heel to ceiling and bending knee to chest. You could coordinate this with your breath. Moving slowly. Giving those muscles time to warm up, to stretch. Good, and a couple more movements. At the top, point your toes this time, and then bend your knee. And then at the top, really flex your foot toes towards your nose, and then bend your knee. Twice more. Point your toes at the top, straight leg, and then flex your foot at the top. Good, let's pause with that flexed foot and a straight leg. Straight leg doesn't have to be fully straight, knee can be bent. And start to climb the hands up your leg, giving a little massage around your knee, to the back of your thigh, going between the back of your thigh and your knee. You can imagine that you're in the shower and just kind of scrubbing the leg and thigh here. If you can reach, start to explore the shin and calf. And you could stay here with torso resting on the earth, or start to lift your head, lift your chest, and reach a little higher up your leg. Good, pausing here, some core stability, grabbing for anything you can reach on your leg, an option to pick up your left leg and hover it in space. Good, attention to the back, bottom, ribs. See if you can lift them off the earth. One more space, take an inhale, and exhale. And release all the way down. Great stretch on your inhale. And exhale, left knee to chest. Good, hug and squeeze it in for a moment. And then big circles. Actually, we'll start small circles with that left knee. Good, when we start small, we give our joints an opportunity to see how they're feeling today. An opportunity to open a little bit more as we spiral those circles bigger. One more big breath. And then pause your movements and interlace your fingers behind your thigh. And with both feet engaged, start to bend and straighten your leg. And you may notice if this side feels different right away. We tend to be tighter on one side. It's pretty common. And at the top for the last few times, we'll switch pointing the toes and flexing the foot. Pause next time your foot is flexed and straight toward the ceiling. And then like you're scrubbing the thigh in the shower, you start to rub your thigh front to back up toward your knee. little lymphatic drainage and mapping our body with our own brain, noticing areas. Good, root down through your right heel and start to climb up your leg. Maybe you lift your head and chest off the earth, or upper back rather. And then grab for as high as you can reach up your leg, and maybe lift your right leg off the earth. Good. Draw the chin down a little bit and lift your bottom ribs off the earth one more space. Take a breath in, full exhale, and with control, release and find the great stretch. Exhale both knees to chest when you're ready. Good, happy baby here. If our hips don't really feel ready for that, and grabbing just anywhere along your ankles or shins. We don't really have to lift our feet over our knees. You might just create a little movement. If you're feeling open to it, you could find that full expression of happy baby today. I like to rock side to side in my happy baby. You could find a little movement. Some attention to breath. Beautiful. Let's release our pose and send both feet up toward the ceiling. So feet are roughly stacked over the hips. And if it's comfortable, squeeze your legs together. Good, we're gonna floint our foot, so combination of flexing and pointing. Spread your toes, and then push through the balls of your feet. The balls of your feet float closer to the ceiling than your heels. Good, notice what engages as you do that action. And we're gonna play climb the rope. So imagine there was a rope that went from your belly button to the ceiling in a straight line. Good. And then like you're grabbing the rope, one hand over the other, start to climb. Good. If it's feeling like lots of work, head and chest and upper back can stay on the earth. Or start to lift head and upper back and climb a little higher. Again, pay attention to the bottom ribs in the rib cage of your back side and see if you can peel those ribs off the earth. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, knees to chest, and either rock side to side or forward and backward a few times. Rocking and rolling to massage your spine and wake up your whole nervous system. Good, when you're ready, we'll roll all the way to tabletop pose. And once you're there, some organic movement, hip circles or cat-cow. Taking a few breaths to do what your body is craving in this moment. Good, and then let's all take hands under shoulders, but point our fingers out to the sides. And if this feels a little intense already, you can widen your hands a little further out from your shoulders. And then sit your hips to one side, lean your shoulders to that side, and hips to the other side, just kind of like we're leaning left to right. So stretching the outer hips, but also a little wrist stretch here. Good, come back to center, fingers face forward, hands under shoulders. And straighten through your right leg, toes to the earth to start. Good, attention to the bottom 2 ribs in the front of your rib cage. And almost like half of a cat pose. Press the earth away and draw those bottom ribs away from the earth. Kind of like you're opening an umbrella. Your back was like that umbrella. Good, really straighten through your right leg and maybe lift that heel as high as your hip. So toes might float off the earth. Push the earth away with both hands and with your left knee. And make sure that that right hip is as low as the left. And maybe walk your left hand out in front of you. Maybe lift that arm off the earth. Really common here to let the front ribs drop down, banana back. Really round through the center of your back. Bottom ribs are up and in. 2 more breaths. Hands and knees down. Inhale for a cow pose. Drop your belly. And exhale, round your back for cat. 2 more times. Good. Last little movement here. We'll do that on the opposite side. Straighten your left leg behind you. And before we lift that foot off the earth, bottom 2 ribs draw away from your mat, up and in. Good. Push the earth away with both hands and your right knee. Really straighten that left leg as you lift it off the earth. Good. Keep that left leg straight and reaching behind you, even as you might add your right arm. Shoulders away from ears, bottom 2 ribs up and in, 2 more breaths. Both hands and knees down to center. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. And this time, inhale, neutral spine, and exhale to come down onto your belly. Good, any way that feels good to you. Once you're there, hands stay next to your bottom ribs on your mat, forehead to the earth. Take a couple breaths here, relaxing as much as possible. And before you move anything else, start to point and reach through both sets of toes. So much you feel the quads and thighs engage. And press down through your toes as you reach them back. Beautiful. Squeeze the elbows together. And on an inhale, roll your shoulders up and back as you lift your chest. Exhale to lower forehead and chest. Keep moving through your baby cobras as you reach the feet back, squeeze your elbows back. Let's take 3 more at our pace. On an exhale, release, curl through your toes, and push the earth away from you to come to hands and knees. And for just a moment, child's pose. Good, knees can be either nice and wide or situated under your ribs, whichever feels best on your lower back. Let's make this an active child's pose for our warming up portion of class. So press the earth away with your hands, so much that your elbows lift off the earth, and you ground your heels back toward, or hips back toward heels. Rest your head and take 2 more breaths. On an exhale, hands and knees. Take an inhale for cow pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good, organic movement here for 5 breaths. If vinyasas are in your practice, this is a great opportunity, or just explore some movement, bending and straightening knees, sitting hips side to side. Good, well, meet in stillness in down dog. And with slightly bent knees, push the earth away from you with your hands to walk your hands back toward your feet. Good, we'll set up in a standing forward fold at the back of our mat. And once you're there, drape your torso over your thighs, bending your knees as deeply as you need to, and relax your arms, your head, and your neck. 2 big breaths here. On an exhale, squeeze your belly back towards your spine to roll all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders up and back at the top, and do that a few times. Good, you can't see my head too well here, or at all, but that's okay because what you'll really need to see is just my feet for now. So let's bring our hands anywhere that's comfortable. I like them on my hips to start. And then bring your right foot behind you, top of your foot to the earth, stretching the front of your ankle. Kind of like you're pointing your toes back and then bringing the top of your foot down. So a little balancing pose as well as this stretch in the front of your shin. Good. Here is optional, same arm. So right foot is back, right arm is going to lift out and up. And a little side stretch. Right arm reaches up and over to the left. If that feels too complicated, you don't know what I'm doing, then just pause wherever feels natural. Big inhale. Exhale to bring arm back to center, slide your foot back to meet the left, and shimmy your hips side to side. All right, other side, hands anywhere that's comfortable, left toes point back, and step on the top of your foot. Nice straight left leg. Good, if this is a lot of balancing action here, then just stay here. We don't need to add anything else. If you want to go for that side stretch, I'll kind of kneel down to show you. Left arm will come up and over. And then just reach over toward the right side of your body. Big breaths in. Full exhales. One more inhale. As you exhale, come back to center and slide your feet back to hip distance. Good, from the back of your mat. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Good, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. And root to rise. Inhale, flat back, root to rise, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart and sit back and down chair pose. Ujjayi inhale, Ujjayi exhale. Push your feet through the earth, stand up tall, reach your arms up toward the ceiling. And exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Once again, flat back, root to rise. Stand up tall. Exhale, hands through your heart, chair pose. Good, a full breath in and out here. On an inhale, stand up tall, reach your arms overhead, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, fold forward. We're gonna do that whole thing one more time. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Flat back, strong legs, root to rise, reach up. Exhale, chair pose. Pause for a full breath. Sit more weight into your heels, maybe get 1 inch lower with your hips. And then drive your feet through the earth to stand up tall. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, walk your hands forward, down dog. Good for a rest child's pose. Or any optional vinyasas or organic movements. Beautiful choices. Our next transition can be done from down dog or all fours. Right leg up and back on an inhale. Raise that leg high. And then step that right foot through between your hands and drop your back knee down. So low lunge, right foot forward. As many little shimmies and steps as it takes. And you can climb up your right leg or front leg to stand up tall. Back knee is down. You could add cushioning under that back knee if it needs the support. Beautiful. Let's inhale, reach both arms up. Pause here as you exhale. Roll your shoulders back and down. Good. If this feels like a lot of work, then most of our effort will just be in stabilizing. So pressing down through your front foot, press down through your back foot. Awesome. We can stay right here or interlace your fingers behind the back of your head, kind of at the base of your hairline. Elbows draw in slightly toward each other, and then push your head into your hands and press your hands back into your head. Very stable here. Good, keep pressing down through both feet. And imagine you could lift your chest toward the ceiling, almost like you're laying your back over a big beach ball. Keep pressing down through both feet. 2 more breaths. On an exhale, release your hands, reach up. And inhale, exhale to bring hands down to frame your front foot. Good, pause here. We're gonna lift our back knee, step it a little bit closer so you can plant your back foot completely, heel is down, and then start to straighten through your front leg. Great time for blocks if the earth feels far away and you have them. Books are a great substitute for blocks here. Good, wherever your hands are, make sure that they're relatively under your shoulders for support and that you're flexing every toe on your front foot. Beautiful. Core is engaged. 2 more breaths. Start to bend through your front knee, and we'll come up to a warrior 1. So bending through your front knee, you could climb up your front leg all the way up to your warrior 1. Arms can come to heart center or reach out and up. Beautiful. Take a big breath in and full exhale. Bend deeply through your front knee and ground through your back heel. 1 more breath. Good. Hands come together into heart center. Lean your chest forward a little bit so more weight is in this front leg. And then step to chair pose. So left foot meets the right and hips are back and down. Big inhale. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. And inhale, root to rise. Reach up, stand up tall. For a moment, exhale and standing, hands by your side, Tadasana. Just take a breath or 2. Notice your heartbeat, sensation in your body. And inhale, gather space, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog, child's pose. cat-cow, your choice. We take time for organic movement, time for skanda creativity, so that you are in tune with your own body's needs. Okay, we'll meet in down dog or tabletop all fours. Left leg up and back this time. Good, nice straight leg as you hold it there. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, low lunge. Left foot shimmies between your hands, and right knee drops down. Good, nice and controlled. We'll come to our low lunge. And lots of attention to pressing down through back toes and pressing down through front heel. Good. If that's enough challenge for you is just staying stable here, then hands can just float to the heart and keep your gaze nice and steady. Good. If you want a little more with that back bend we were doing, interlace your fingers, maybe the funny way, and bring that behind your head. Good. A lot of times the elbows are pretty wide here. Draw them in about 45 degrees. Then push head into hands and hands back into head. Bringing lots of stability in the feet, stability in the head. And start to lean the head back into your hands as you lift your chest up toward the ceiling. 3 more breaths. Drop your shoulders out of your ears. 1 more breath. Good. If we've taken the back bend, come back to center, release your hands, reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands frame your front foot, pause there for a moment. Notice if you need the blocks for our next transition. We'll lift our back knee. And then plant your back heel, pyramid stretch. I like to step my right foot out in space to the right a little bit. Feels like I have more room in my stretch when I do that. So the back heel is planted and toes are spread. Beautiful. Roll your shoulders down and back. And take a few breaths. Good. See if most of the engagement can be in your legs. So imagine you could get really light in your hands, coming onto fingertips and bringing your core into the picture. Navel up and in. Good. Let's take an inhale as we bend the left knee. Exhale, squeeze your navel back. Root to rise. Warrior 1. Good. Again, my head is kind of cut off, but the feet are a little bit more important to notice here. So back heel is firmly pressing down, front heel is firmly pressing down. Hands can stay at heart center or reach your arms up. Especially if arms are up, drop shoulders out of ears. Couple more breaths. Good, bring your hands to heart center. Lean your chest forward, more weight in your left foot, left thigh, and step to chair pose. Hips back and down. And let's find that back bend action here. Interlace your fingers, bring them behind the back of your head. A little more weight into your heels, and then lift your chest forward and up. Bring your head back into your hands. 1 more breath in. Full exhale. And root to rise, stand up, reach up. Exhale, hands by your sides, take a breath. Good, take another and notice. Beautiful. If you have a block that you would like to be using, grab it. We're going to turn toward the long edge of our mat and step wide. If you have that block, just make sure it's somewhere in front of you, reachable. Good, totally optional with the block. Some of us really don't need that. Good, wide angle forward fold to start. So knees are nice and bent. Feet are pretty wide, about 3 feet apart at least. Good, bend your knees and start to find the floor or your block. Good. Notice where the weight is in your feet before we do anything else. See if you can even it out front to back, so from toes toward heels, and side to side. Press through the outer feet as much as the inner feet. Good, keep your knees bent a little bit as you allow your torso to rest, as you allow your head to rest. Finding your favorite forward fold here, any position of your arms that's comfortable. And on your next inhale, let's find halfway lift. So back is flat, hands are under shoulders. And again, if you need that block, then your hands are on your block. Great. Right hand is under your face on the earth. We're going to start there. Bend both knees, especially your right knee. Left hand to your left hip, and that initiates our twist here. Start to peel that left shoulder up toward the ceiling to turn your body toward the left, bending into your right knee deeply. Maybe you add your arm reaching up for the ceiling. Chin is neutral. So a lot of times it's jutting up in space, like forward. Draw it in and down. Good, maybe that right leg starts to straighten a little more. Full breath in. Full exhale. Inhale to reach. Exhale, both hands down. And pause for a moment, shimmy your shoulders, let your head sway, your hips sway. And we'll find the other side. Left hand supported underneath of our weight. So that should be about under our face. Deep bend in your left knee as your right hand comes to your hip. Good, root through both heels deeply. Reach your navel up and back, and then peel that right shoulder up toward the ceiling to turn toward the left. Turn toward the right. Maybe that right hand reaches up toward the ceiling. Maybe that left leg starts to straighten a little more. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, gaze forward and down, both hands to the earth. And this time we'll heel toe our feet a little closer together just to come to a regular forward fold for a moment. And then inhale, half lift. Bend your knees, hands to your hips. Squeeze your elbows back and let the elbows lead you root to rise all the way to stand. Step to the top of your mat. And inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog, child's pose, any movement or rest. And we'll all meet on our bellies. Take your time to get there, and once you're there, take a moment or two to reconnect to your breath. Finding comfort for your head with either stacked hands and forehead resting, or turning a cheek, whichever feels best. Remembering what it felt like when we started class on our back, to realize what the breath in the rib cage felt like. And to notice that here. So as you inhale, noticing the front ribs pressing down into your mat. And as you exhale, a softening of your body. Good, we'll do some slightly more passive actions here. So keeping your head resting, draw your right knee up along the earth so that it's about in line with your right hip. Rest your foot and knee on the earth. So the inside of your knee is gently pressing down into your mat and you're breathing. Good, we're gonna add a humming exhale. So no one else can hear you, but I'll guide you with a little sound. Inhale pretty deep through your nose. And keeping your mouth closed, from your throat start to hum. Draw it out as long as you can. And when you need to, inhale again. Exhale to hum. When you're ready, straighten that right leg back. We'll do the other side. Left knee draws up along the earth, relaxing through your left foot. And a big inhale into your belly. Humming exhale. Whenever you're ready, straighten both legs back, hands next to your ribs, curl your toes under. Just enough to press back into child's pose. And letting this child's pose be relaxing. Resting your arms and resting your forehead. Noticing the expansion of breath in the ribs, front to back. And the softening of the ribs as you release the exhale. Take 3 more breaths in this way. And let your last exhale be a sighing exhale. Bringing your hands under your shoulders. And sitting your hips to one side of your feet to swing your legs forward. If you have a blanket or a towel to sit up on, then that would be a great time. Let's extend our legs forward and give them a little shake. Toes side to side, knees up and down, alternating. Good, then leave your right leg extended and bring your left foot to the earth. Good, flex both feet, sit up tall. And you can stay right here with legs and feet, or we'll find left foot crossed over the right. If you can easily set that left foot down on the earth, then this might be your variation. If not, then come back to where your left foot was before. Good, so a seated twist here. Wrap your right hand around your knee. Right hand, left knee. Left hand comes behind you for support. Good, and instead of leaning into that left hand, use your core to sit up pretty tall and be on your left fingertips. Good. Rooting right hand into left knee to kind of pull you deeper into a twist. Shoulders down. Maybe add your chin turning to the left. Inhales, lengthen your spine. Exhales, twist you 0.5 millimeter more. On your next exhale, gaze back to center, shoulders turn, ribs turn. And let's find a counter twist. So arms float to the right and kind of lean toward that right side. Just finding a twist to the other side for 1 moment. Good, then straighten both legs and shimmy them out. Good, right foot to the earth. Both feet are engaged. And find your variation with your legs here. Your foot can stay where it is, or it can hop to the other side of your left thigh. Good, let's find our twist. Left hand to right knee, right hand fingertips for support. Good, gazing over to the right only if it's very comfortable for your neck. Exhale brings you back to center very slowly. And cartwheeling the arms toward the left for a gentle counter twist. Good, let's come back to center. And bring both feet together, knees wide. Baddha Konasana. And 2 options today. So the closer your heels are toward your pelvis, the more this is going to be an inner thigh stretch. So if that's what you're looking for, you can float the feet a little closer. For more of an outer thigh IT band stretch, feet can come pretty far away, like diamond pose. Whichever you prefer, we're going to create this as very effortless, more of a yin pose than an active pose. So relaxing your feet and start to draw your chin down toward your chest and allow the weight of your head to roll your torso forward. Arms can rest anywhere along legs or the earth. And it does not matter how far forward you lean, how far down you can reach effortlessly. It only matters that you can surrender here, just for now. So allowing the right shoulder blade to melt to the right. Left shoulder blade to slide to the left. Hands open to receiving. And bringing breath into the back body. Noticing if there are any thoughts or feelings that remain. And releasing them on the exhale. And take a final deep breath in. Sighing, exhale. Start to walk your hands closer to your feet or towards your pelvis rather, and slowly roll up. Removing anything you might be seated on. If you have a blanket, you can throw it toward the back of your mat. And we'll roll all the way down to our backs. Organic movement once you're there, maybe the great stretch or a little twist side to side. Taking the final minute here of time to do anything to round out your practice that you might need. If you have more energy to burn, you might come back to climbing the rope like we did at the very beginning of class, hovering the feet and imagining there was that rope from belly to ceiling. Good, completely up to you. If you are efforting, we'll do that for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to release all effort. We'll start to create some ease. Slowly unraveling any tension that remains into a relaxed posture. Whatever that looks like, just allowing yourself to take up space. Take up space and be comfortable. Letting the final efforts of our practice be not in our body, but in our imagination and intention. And rediscovering the quality of the breath within the ribs. Noticing the shape of your rib cage and how it changes as you breathe. And imagine what is in the center of that experience. The spiritual heart lies in the center of the chest. Our seat of compassion, of understanding, of respect for ourselves and for others. Imagining that that place inside of yourself could grow wider and wider. So wide that it filled the whole room that you're in, the whole building, the street, the city, the county and state, eventually growing so big and encompass the whole world. And rest knowing your compassion is wide. Your respect is for all. I'll call you back in a few moments. If you have the time, you can stay here as long as you like. Or we'll start to deepen the breath. Allow the deeper breath to invite movement. Letting that movement grow in creative, spontaneous ways. Taking your time to find a fetal position on one side for a couple of breaths. And slowly rolling to a seat. And with a gentle bow of our chin, honoring ourselves for showing up this morning. And bringing one hand to your heart and one hand to the ground next to you. In a gesture of wisdom, we acknowledge that we are always balancing our heartfelt desires with what is needed. Balancing the two is a practice that we humbly take on. And bringing hands together, I thank each of you for your practice and commitment. Namaste.